Hello, this is Nick from Breaker Press Games, and today I want to tell you about the Balladeer class compatible with Dungeon Crawl Classics. Alright, before we get into it, I want to tell you about all the ways that you can support Breaker Press Games. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and watch all the way to the end. It makes a huge difference in the algorithm. I am trying to get to 500 subscribers by my birthday, which is now 2.5 weeks away. That is a really hard ask, but I'm going to ask for it anyway. That being said, additionally, if you want to support Breaker Press Games, you can purchase our products through the Breaker Press Games web store, through the Goodman Games web store, through Noble Knight Games, and through Exalted Funeral. You can also get PDFs through DriveThruRPG and itch.io. So all of those options are available to you. The other way that you can support Breaker Press Games, which leads straight into this video, is to become a member on Patreon. And so this is the Patreon reward for the month of August. If you are a member of the Breaker Press Games Patreon, you get something fun in the mail every month. And so over the last several months, there has been a number of these class guides, like the Bruiser, Outlier, Icon Bearer, etc. There has been pamphlets like Around the Common Fire, but you get something cool in the mail every month. And this applies to international folks as well. So, keep that in mind. Become a member of the Breaker Press Games Patreon if you want to support. Now, let's talk about the Balladeer. Well, real quick, I want to talk about the class guide series. So the whole point of this whole series of class guides, the Icon Bearer, Outlier, etc., was that when I was running convention games, I found that having a number of these classes were in Rabid Dogs, and I would have to grab a bunch of copies of Rabid Dogs from my stock and slide them across the table and be like, here, this is the class you need on this page, this is the class you need on this page, this is the class you need on this page, if I was running a first or second level adventure. This prompted me to come home from, I think it was Gamehole Con, and be like, you know what, it would make more sense to just put all of those rules into an 8-page mini-zine, so that I could just slide that across the table to each individual person. And so that was how the class mini-zine was born. So let's talk about the actual Balladeer. Now, the Balladeer arose from a request on Reddit for my take on the Bard. So there was a Reddit thread where people were talking about, they were saying nice things about the various classes that I've made, which warmed my heart. And somebody said, hey, I'd like to see your take on a Bard. Somebody, agreed with them. And I was like, okay, just so you know, if I do my own take on a Bard, it's not going to have any magical abilities. It's going to be a rogue Bard. And they were like, bring it on. And so my brain immediately started cranking and I got to writing. So the Balladeer is a musician, entertainer that lives the starving artist lifestyle. As somebody who was a musician that played in bands, toured on and off for 20 years, I can tell you that starving artists, they do some things, and I've seen some things on the road that people do what they got to do when they don't have enough money to get to the next town or whatever, or to eat. And so, that being said, I wanted to pull that into my take on the Bard, and thus the Balladeer was born. So, leaning into the starving artist lifestyle, let's talk about my take on this class. The Balladeer has a number of unique special abilities. First and foremost is Inspiring Presence. Now, Inspiring Presence is a little different than what you would expect by how it sounds. As we all know, when the camera is on you, people tend to behave differently. And this is no different than when you are in the presence of somebody who might immortalize you in a sonnet or a song. And so when another character is about to perform a mighty deed in the presence of the Balladeer, and the Balladeer can make eye contact. They're not engaged in melee combat. They are within line of sight. They can say that they meet eye contact, and in doing so, the person rolling the mighty deed is going to get a +1 to their deed die. Just a modest +1. However, if as they are rolling there to hit and they fumble, they're going to add it's going to be +1d on the fumble roll. So if their fumble roll would be a 1d8 because they're wearing leather armor, it would become a 1d10 on their fumble roll. So moving on. That's inspiring presence. Then there are words of inspiration. And words of inspiration are kind of like mighty deeds. You roll a equivalent to a deed die. You're rolling starting at first level a D3, but plus caster level. And your words of inspiration, you recite some sort of grand speech or sing a song, something that is going to inspire somebody in your party or the whole party. And when you roll your word die, you are actually creating a luck pool. And that luck pool can be tapped into either by everyone in the party. So let's say you rolled a D3 plus your character level of 1 for a total of 4. You could then distribute those luck points to a variety of characters based upon what they need when they need it. Or you can focus all of that into one person. You're like giving that one character, that inspiring speech. There is risk. You do need to make a roll in order to a D20 roll in order to be able to convey that inspiration onto the party. And if you roll a 1, similar to disapproval on a cleric, you dispirit the party. And if you dispirit the party, instead of your words die going towards the party, the roll on the words die goes to the judge. And they can then apply that to the traps or monsters or whatever that the party is engaged with. And so it creates this, kind of nasty give and take that can take place with luck. And I'm super excited to see that on the table and see how it goes for people. A Balladeer also has a number of thief-like abilities that are unique to them. There is Convince Person, which is basically like a con artist skill. It allows them to, in a non-magical way, charm others with their silver tongue. Distraction, which is a way to create a distraction that would allow others to be able to pick pockets or hide in shadows, move silently, that sort of thing. Similar to other thief abilities, I break down, this is what happens at, if these are the circumstances, it's probably a DC 5. If these are the circumstances, it's DC 10. If this is really hard, you're trying to distract a person that is already skeptical of you, then it's going to be a DC 15. There's also no lore, because it is expected that a Balladeer is going to know all of the folklore and songs and various things that go along with the region that they're in. And then, in addition to all of those unique Balladeer abilities, they also have a couple of thief abilities like Disguise Self, Forge Document, Pickpockets, and Read Languages. And before you raise any complaints, I have seen some of those things happen firsthand. So yeah, that this is once again leading into that starving artist lifestyle. Finally, the Balladeer, just like all of the other class guides, on the back has a collection, a chart of Balladeer equipment. Some of these items are mundane items like candles, books, things like that, blank books, quill and pen, and of course the expected loot, etc. But there's also a number of unique items like red and white grease, which are basically used as makeup, which is going to give you a bonus if you're trying to disguise self. There are a couple of herbal things that the bard would find useful in their lifestyle, etc. And so, yeah, there's like 8 to 10 unique items out of the 24, and then the others are more mundane items. So that is the Balladeer. I think it is a clever class, if I do say so myself. I can't wait to hear all the stories from people that try it out and the things that happen at their table. And I always want to hear your feedback, because part of the joy of doing like a small run of 50 of a mini-zine is that if people play things and they're like, this sucks, this particular rule doesn't work so well, I can always tweak it. So that being said, once again, all of these, all the Balladeer and all of the other classes are available on a bunch of different websites. I even just on the Breaker Press web store did a bundle of all 5 classes in one. For one low price. So go check that stuff out. Thank you for supporting Breaker Press Games. Thank you for supporting indie games and indie game designers. I really appreciate the engagement and the fact that this class wouldn't exist if it wasn't for people saying nice things on Reddit and engaging with me, and it's awesome. So thank you to everyone that was involved. Yeah. Everybody have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon. I've got a bunch of great videos coming up. All right.